Yo, what's going on, people? It's Ali from the Source Park here again, back for another BMX basic tutorial, and today we're going to learn how to do a pull-up bar spin. Okay, so before I even start this video, I'm just going to be straight up with you. I'm not even that good at these tricks, to be honest, but I can do them, and I've been through the process of learning them. So I'm just going to give you the tips that I learned when I was learning them, and hopefully it will help you guys be able to do them. They're quite easy to do, so you should be able to do them in a day, I reckon. Like, it's just commitment of actually letting go and throwing the bars. Once you get comfortable with that, you should be doing them easily. You don't even need to be able to bunny hop to do a pull-up bar spin. All you need to be able to do is pull up your front wheel, hence the name pull-up bar spin. So as long as you can lift your wheel up a little bit, you should be good to learn this trick. So the first thing you need to do is get comfortable with throwing the bars, okay? So you're just gonna get comfortable with that motion, but without actually trying the trick. There's a whole bunch of ways that you can practice doing bar spins without actually doing a bar spin, like where you can still have your foot on the ground and there's gonna be no risk of you falling over. I'm gonna show you the two ways that I learned doing it because I think they're quite common and a lot of people use them. So the first one, which I think is probably the easiest and the most used, is finding like a wall or a curb or something and wedging your back wheel against it. So like I've got this little brick wall here. I'm gonna put my wheel up against this brick wall and then it's gonna be wedged in there. So the bike's not gonna go anywhere. So I can pull the front wheel up, which is the position you're gonna be in when you're doing the pull-up bar spin. Your front wheel's gonna be up. And you're gonna hold your legs against your seat, so then the bike's supported. So whether your hands are off or not, you're just gonna be sitting here chilling. And then what you wanna do is just work out the bar spin. So there's two ways that you can do the bar spin, and that's chucking it, so you're gonna throw it and be ready to catch it with your other hand, which means you let go of the bars completely. You know, your hands are completely away from it. Or you can drive it round. So that means you're gonna let go with one hand and the other hand's just gonna steer it round. So this hand's not actually gonna come off the bars, it's just gonna twist it round. Try to work out which way spinning the bars feels good for you, because some people, they feel more comfortable throwing them opposite at first. So just have a play about with it, spin them both ways and just see which way feels the best for you. So you just need to keep doing these bar spins all day long until you just get completely comfortable with them, and you don't even have to really focus on doing them, you know? It just comes around naturally and it just feels comfortable. And then I'm gonna show you the other way that I was saying about practicing it, but then the next step after this is just trying it on the ground, and I'll go into that in a second. Right, so the other way that I was thinking about that, this is a way that I practiced a lot when I was learning just to get the bar spin motion down, and it's just having one foot on the floor and one foot on your pedal with your pedal down, and you're just gonna pull the bike up and spin it. Just try and get the motion round quick, you know? So you're just gonna go and try and pull it up, because I think this way, it kind of mimics what you're doing on the ground a bit better than that way, you know? Because it's all very quick, like your bike's coming up, you're spinning, and then it's going straight back down. So it kind of gives you the feeling of the actual trick more than the last one I showed you. But the last one's just the best for learning how to spin the bars around. So once you've done those first two steps and you've got comfortable throwing the bars around, I'm gonna show you this way that you can do it if you have a peg, because it's such a great way of learning it, because you're doing the trick, but nothing can really go wrong if you don't do it properly. Because this is gonna be your first time trying the trick, you just wanna go really slow. Like, you don't need to go fast at all with this trick. And especially now, the one that I'm about to show you with doing it with the peg, just go, you barely even need to be moving. Just get comfortable with throwing the bars. That's the most important thing right now. So you're gonna have one foot on the back peg here, okay? And then you're gonna have your other foot on the pedal. So you're gonna be like this. And then with your legs, once they're both on here, you're gonna be clamping the seat, okay? So you're gonna be squeezing in. So that's gonna be supporting the bike. So by doing that, even if you throw the bar spin and you land like this, with no hands on, you're still gonna be all right, okay? So let me just show you a couple of examples of that right now. Like I said, no matter what, no matter where I land, it's gonna be all right, you know? I'm not gonna fall off. it's like, it's really hard to mess that one up. So it's quite safe to try. And when you actually land it, it feels like you've done a proper pull-up bar spin. Make sure you're actually giving your wheel enough space to spin around, because when I first started doing them, even though you can get away with it, I was pulling up my wheel not very high at all. And by the time it was coming around here, it was kind of skidding on the floor and slowing down. So I just found pulling it up a bit higher just gives it more time to come round and more time for you to actually like grab it and go back down with it, rather than it just landed on the floor and then you just putting your hands on the bars. Another key thing to doing these tricks is making sure you're leaning back, because that's releasing weight from the front wheel and it's making it easier for the bars to spin because you're not over them, and you're just out of the way, you know. When you spin them around and you're like back here, there's no chance of the bars like getting caught in your t-shirt or anything. So yeah, just try and lean back and release weight from the front. Now you've landed a few of the bar spins with your foot on the peg, the next thing to do is to try them with both your feet on the pedals. So it's not actually too much different. I mean, the first few might feel weird because, I don't know, it's a bit more commitment than the one where your foot's on the peg, but it's just getting it around the first few times. That's the scary part when you do it. Like the first few you do, it is gonna be scary, but once you've done them and you realize they're not actually that dangerous and they're quite easy, you'll be doing them all the time. So you wanna be cruising along at a nice slow speed. If this is your first time doing this, you don't need to go fast at all, okay? Literally, just like a quarter of a crank and that's enough, just to get you rolling. So the first part of this is actually kind of like a bunny hop. So you're gonna be riding along with your pedals level and you're gonna be bending your arms, compressing yourself, ready to pull up your handlebars. You actually start quite a lot of tricks like this because you're always pulling up the front wheel to get onto stuff or to do any kind of tricks really. So you're gonna be compressing yourself, ready to pull up. And then as you're pulling up, you're gonna be clamping your seat. So your knees are gonna be squeezing your seat, okay? It might be just above your knees or just under your knees. Depends on how tall you are. By clamping the seat, it's kind of securing the bike a little bit, you know? It's giving it a bit of support. So it's not just gonna drop down immediately. It's kind of gonna hold up into your body a bit more. So once you've done that, you've pulled the wheel up and you've clamped your seat, you wanna be throwing them bars around as quickly as possible. That's something I found that I struggled with when I was learning these, is like the first few where I actually had my feet on the pedals, I was just kind of panicking a bit. So I was like kind of just throwing them and looking away and it was just doing me no favors. And then I was just spinning the bars too slowly because I just wasn't fully committed to it. So just try and get them bars around as quick as possible and be relaxed, okay? Just think about the steps that I've just said now and just relax and just think, okay, right, so I'm gonna bend down, clamp my seat, lean back and just relax and just throw them round and it's gonna work, okay? I would consider this to be a very basic BMX trick. I think it's something you could probably learn in an afternoon. It's just scary committing to the first few. Like I said earlier, it's just getting them round and like just doing all the steps all at once. It can be a bit overwhelming at first, but once you've done a couple and kind of sussed it out, they're not even that bad. It's a fun trick to do and you'll end up doing them all the time. Once you can do them, it'll be one of your favorite tricks, I promise you. I think that's me done, to be honest. It was a nice, quick and easy one today. Pull-up bar spins is something you should all be able to try outside your house, in your garden, on your road, anywhere, because all you need is some flat ground. So if you can ride your bike somewhere, you can try a pull-up bar spin. So get out there, get practicing, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.